It happened. The Supreme Court just killed your student debt relief. But don't let anyone tell you this is the end of the story. The Biden administration still has the legal authority to cancel student debt because Congress already authorized it. Let me explain. President Biden's first attempt to cancel student debt, the one the Supreme Court just struck down, was based on a law called the HEROES Act of 2003. This law gave the Education Department the power to waive or modify student loans for people affected by a national emergency. The Biden administration claimed the COVID pandemic was a national emergency, but the Supreme Court abused its power and rejected the president's argument. Thankfully, there is another law under which Biden can legally cancel student debt. We talked to Persis Yu, a lawyer at the Student Borrower Protection Center, to explain the legal mechanisms Biden can still utilize.
The administration's hands are absolutely not tied in this circumstance. There are many tools that the secretary can use. In particular, the secretary already has the authority, and the president can direct the secretary to use the authority to cancel student loans under the Higher Education Act, under the provisions which allow them to settle, compromise, modify, and waiver any of the debts in their portfolio. This is a tool that the Department of Education regularly uses in the maintenance of its portfolio. In fact, we've seen instances where, for example, Secretary Betsy DeVos canceled certain borrowers some amounts of student loan debt during the last administration. The president can direct the secretary to take these actions to ensure that student loan borrowers are still given the debt relief that they desperately need right now.
The nation today has a $1.78 trillion student debt burden owed to the federal government by about 45 million Americans. That's about 1 in 5 U.S. adults. It's no surprise that this far-right, corrupt Supreme Court has decided to strike down relief, deciding in favor of a plaintiff that doesn't have standing, a harm that never happened, and false claims that were never checked. This baseless decision creates disastrous new legal precedents while striking down a completely legal policy that millions of people have planned their futures around. But this doesn't have to be the end of the story. Regardless of this ruling, the law is clear. President Biden still has the legal authority to cancel student debt. He must do so right away.